Marcia's Pilgrimage Musings. I recently participated in a 5-day pilgrimage by bus to Montgomery, Alabama, organized by the Alexandria Community Remembrance Project. They were participating in the soil collection project of the Equal Justice Initiative Legacy Museum. The museum is a brainchild of the brilliant African-American lawyer Bryan Stevenson. The objective was to collect soil in specific jars from the 2 recorded sites in Alexandria where 2 young black men, Joseph McCoy and Benjamin Thomas, were lynched. The collected soil was then carried down to Montgomery to be handed over to the Legacy Museum officials to be placed with others that represent this horrific act of violence that happened in states around this country. It was my honor to be there by the grace of the ancestors. 2 busloads went down. 1 bus contained local high school students. I recently discovered and learned how to use the collage function on my phone. I will say a little about each one to give you a sense of what I experienced. First is the Rosa Parks Museum. The artwork is made from iron, cleverly constructed in sections that from the side look like iron rods with odd cutouts. But when you look at the arrangement straight on, Mrs. Parks' image becomes visible, as if by magic. The 2 signage panels are significant. I encourage you to enlarge them on your phone if viewed there, and to read them in order. The front is at the top, and the continuation is on the lower panel. The history they contain is important. In the second collage, I am standing at the infamous Edmund Pettus Bridge, site of the March for Voting Rights from Selma to Montgomery, Sunday, March 7, 1965. It became known as Bloody Sunday because the marchers were attacked by police with horses, billy clubs, and tear gas as they were attempting to march to the state capital, Montgomery. We walked from Selma, where our bus deposited us, across the bridge that spanned the Alabama River to Montgomery on the other side, where our bus awaited. We were on hallowed ground. The third collage shows me delivering one of my poems from my lynching suite at the closing dinner at the request of the organizers. I chose to read J.P. Ball, photographer. I felt the attendees had seen enough graphic images already. I reasoned they may not have asked themselves who took the pictures. The first lynching picture I ever saw was in my American history textbook of William Biggerstaff. He was well dressed, suspended, and surrounded by an unapologetic crowd of white men. Ball, who himself was black, was the best photographer around and was hired to do the job. He felt he not only had a job to do, but had a duty to dignify the man. Each lynching victim was a human being with a life, family, and loved ones, and not just a statistic to become part of a headline or an article. My reading was well received, and some who were at the dinner thought enough of my work to seek me out and thank me personally. You also see a picture of me with my co-presenter, Dr. Susan Strasser, in what we call a double take on lynching on the steps of the Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church. I include the cotton because it is part of a presentation given on Saturday by the wonderful and engaging presenter April Hampton. As part of the history telling at each place setting was a bowl of fluffy white cotton. We were asked to remove seeds from the cotton bowl while trying not to prick our fingers on its pointy and sharp tips. This was a reality check in tedium, if ever there was one. Prior to the cotton gin, This was someone's task. If it was deemed you left too much cotton on the seeds, you were punished. No one could do this exercise and not admire and be grateful for the ancestors who, despite these things and more, survived so that we could have their tomorrow, a hoped-for better day. It was a wonderful opportunity to be able to go. I'm still processing what I saw and experienced. I've been asked to write a poem that speaks to the pilgrimage. I will live up to the task. I leave you with this from local and well-known poet E. Ethelbert Miller. Quote, "Art and history can not only change your life, it can save your life." Isabel Allende says, quote, "Write what should not be forgotten. Be blessed, and thank you for listening to Marcia's Pilgrimage Musings."